Yep, let's start our Testnet special. We have many guests today, I see, which is wonderful. And I don't think we have a specific plan except to welcome everybody to the Testnet and to see how everything's going for everyone, answer questions and listen to comments, and I guess talk a little bit about this past week, starting from the launch.
Yeah, so basically, let's do it in the form that if anyone has any questions, just raise up your arms or just type them to the Telegram chat, and we'll be answering them repeatedly.
Yeah, but actually, I want to say just one thing, and I had a plan to say, welcome Humanodes. That's the first time when we're not alone anymore.
That's true. We have fellow humanoids here, which is wonderful. And actually, we have a lot of potential humanoids too, because when we started the sign up for the testnet, we started with about 200 people being interested, and that jumped to be about 400 and 600, and now we have like 3,700, and I think more and more people are interested in becoming humanoids. Oh, we have Monsky and Dima too. Wonderful. So, yes, fellow humanoids, do you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to know about the test network that you are too afraid to ask? Just raise your hand. Or
I'll probably
go ahead. Go ahead. Oh,
yeah, I'll
yes,
probably start discussing what are we really trying to test out in this testnet.
Yes, we have actually one hand raised from Songjing. So, Songjing, do you have some questions, comments? I believe I've unmuted you. Hopefully.
Okay, maybe it was a misclick.
Okay, so I'm asking guys from Humanode here. What do you think are the most important principles that we're trying to test out with this testnet? Come on, guys.
Mosgy, you want to go?
Yeah. Oh, it works. I think the main goal for this testnet is like basic stability testing of our both like core implementation of the biometric authentication and our deployment infrastructure that is super primitive at this point, yet it kind of works most of the time. We don't have like very polished UI, and user experience could be better at this point. Yeah, sorry for that, guys. We're only have this much time to address things, but yeah, the things we're testing right now is like the very basics, and they seem to be operating nominally as expected. So.
Dima, anything from you?
Maybe I can add that we wanted to test our concept in editorial conditions, and I'm happy to see guys that you've joined to our testnet. You try to launch, and in case you have some issues, you ask us, and it was a pleasure to help you. So I guess for current moment, we've met all our goals, and we will do our best to improve all things according to your comments, your feedback. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, to answer Dato's question, from my understanding, is that we're really trying to basically test the foundation to build a really, really strong foundation. You know, all the bells and whistles and the fancy UI, UX, and all will come later because that's more like icing on the cake. And we want to build a very big and strong cake to support millions of users. So I guess to just follow this one more question that I have from for Simowski. How we had Dima saying that you're pretty satisfied with the results so far. What about you, Mosky? What do you feel about testnet going in week right now? You know, are we meeting our goals? Are we seeing new targets? Discovering new things that we need to tweak?
Is this working? So I'm not sure if my connection is stable
It
enough.
is. It is.
Okay, yeah. So last couple seconds were glitching for me, but yeah. As for like my expectations, I think everything is going pretty smoothly. We have a lot of things to fix in the well, in our current deployment. So far, we have found numerous issues. We're working on fixing them. The issues are mainly around the integrations here and there, and the some of the, like for instance, our expiration logic will be altered quite soon because we have some troubles with it, and we're going to fix it as soon as we can.
Yeah, I wanted actually also kind to answer your question. So, in my opinion, like what we really want to test out are the limitations of what we built so far, and that actually gives us a lot of answers how to move forward. Especially what we've built with this consensus based on biometric nodes on like equal human beings, and we actually even have no idea how far it practically can go based on substrates, aura, and on biometric authentication. I mean, the limit of the number of nodes and what will be the growth of the complexity of the network. Well, we still have to test it out.
So are we going to try all 3,700 applicants?
That's a tricky question, but we don't have an answer yet, probably.
And of course, oh, sorry.
We will,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we will let more people in as we fix things, because currently the network is kind of at its capacity, and we want to be careful with adding more people, but soon, basically, yeah, soon.
I mean, obviously, Shannon, answer your question. We're testing out the anti-spoofing technology here. Well, it's provided us by our generous partner here, FaceTag. But I mean, there hasn't been any nodes spoofed, I guess, yet. I mean, that's how we're testing the principle of one human, one node. Even if it's like through, non-transparent systems without any privacy, it's still kind of working. Because I mean, if you spoof an identity, then you're eligible for like a bounty reward. So yeah, testing that as well.
Good. I saw a hand go up there for a moment and disappeared. Might have been a misclick. But if you have any questions, any comments, don't hesitate. Raise your hand and speak up. So, just out of curiosity, Data, are you going to be aiming for the bounty?
I mean, I already several of my methods, and actually 2 of my friends having tried to spoof through, silicone masks and stuff like this. Yeah, they couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, it's a nice bounty there, so you got to keep trying, right?
Well, no, sure, we gotta keep building Humanodes. I mean, they had thousands of attempts for the last year. There were 2 spoofed identities. That's why the accuracy isn't 100%, but they immediately fixed that. This is in contrast to what happens with Apple when they have all those hacks, because they didn't fix the issue that was on their GitHub 2 years ago.
Just for the record, so people know, in our process, we test thoroughly all our partners, and our BIOS team wasn't able to spoof the liveness check with FaceTag.
Considering that we got some pretty smart cookies, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we have some ideas on how to do more advanced spoofing, though. So, we will try definitely, because we need to. We are obviously developing our in-house methods of liveness check spoofing, because we want to also test our own solutions. And this is kind of like a sword and the shield thing. You build new defenses, you have to build more advanced penetration systems to break them. So this is we're also developing things to check ourselves. So everything is we're working on both ends basically.
Cool. So, once again, just as a reminder for people popping in, feel free to raise your hand for any questions or comments about the testnet. This is a perfect opportunity. I mean, even if it's, I don't know how to do this, this is the perfect time to ask the questions. So don't hesitate. So Dato, for you, I mean, it's been a little over a week now. What has been the most exciting thing for you this week in the testnet? besides the two of us sitting together, having our nodes talk to each other for the first 48 hours.
Well, that's basically, I mean, people had to go through stuff to run that node. They had to like know how to, create proper pathways to the files. Most of the people can't do that, and I was just not expecting that like there would be so many people at the very beginning who will be willing to go through, hard node setups to kind of set up a human node. Yeah, that was unexpected for me.
So I hear rumors that we are working on making it more and more easier to set up nodes and to test. Any hints on how is that going?
Oh yeah, this is going pretty fine, and we're carrying the internal tests of the earliest version this week. We see what are the main pain points and how this will improve the experience of setting up a node. And if it can improve it 10 times, well, it's already a good result. I mean, because we have so many people who still can do things other than installing an app, right? But some more complex stuff, we can just release the app in iterations if it works well until we get to the best version of it, because we saw all the problems that people had in previous ones. I mean, it's much easier even now to build the app, taking into account that these 10 issues were the main ones, and we know it because the testnet works, because humanoids are here. It really simplifies the process.
Just out of curiosity, so far, what was the, I guess, the most common cry for help? I know when I first tried to set up the node, I was in panic mode because I couldn't connect, and Dimitri here, Dima helped me out, figured out that I had somehow got to, I don't know how to put it, but instead of creating one key, I somehow created two keys which conflicted with each other and had to delete everything and start over. But once I got through that, I mean, it was smooth running for me. But what do you think the number one issue was so far?
Max, if you're with us, well, what's your experience here? I think that Ingrok is a pain, and apart from that,
yeah, can you hear me?
just not that good. But
And now maybe it's better.
well, no, not really.
Not really.
So, yeah, probably Dima. You have an idea about it? Or Dima went to code?
What if I try once again?
Oh, now it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yep. So, regarding issues, there were kind of, let's say, waves. So the first, initially, when we just launched, people for most of times they had a face scan rejected issue. That was the most frequent one. I mean, And yeah, so like there were just issues with the devices they used or with lighting in the room or something else, but like this scan was rejected, so we asked them to do what they can do to improve the quality of the light and the quality of the camera itself. Sometimes they use different devices for trying, and yeah, and then they succeeded. For now, most of the times we are facing issues when people are not really they are just doing something wrong during the setup with ngrok, and yeah, sometimes it's a bit tricky to to explain them that they have to follow the guide and try to do everything that is written there, because if you are trying to do something on your own and like putting your own experience into that, this might not work, because we are not like at this stage we might not support some of the features they're trying to use. That these are more like two most frequent things that we are facing currently. Other than that, like our users show themselves as really experienced, well-versed guys, and like I believe that if we take the overall percentage of people who are launching the node and those who have some issues, that's like a real small number. So thanks everyone.
Cool. Do we have any listeners here that have any technical issues or challenges that they want to talk about or ask? Remember, I'm going to keep asking people, and if people don't start speaking up, I'll start pinpointing people.
Oh, that's a perfect fireside.
Yeah.
Relax, chill, right? Okay, so the the community has been asking a question to us. How many validators are we expecting to have in this testnet? What do you guys think? And what is that number dependent on, really?
Well, I have a simple goal of crossing the number of validators of Polkadot.
Is that like a challenge or something?
Yeah, just a small challenge. It's easy. Come on, guys. And once we cross them, probably cross the biggest network in the built on Substrate, or become the one. It's really not difficult as well, I think.
That didn't sound tribalistic at all.
No,
Well,
no, not really.
that was bad content. What do you guys think?
Yes, speaking of the network size, Polkadot is just 814 nodes total in the telemetry, and Kusama, which is the biggest node that I can see in telemetry, has 4,200 and something nodes. And I think it's possible that we can try to reach that level of reach that size of the network, and it would be kind of curious to push our networking implementation to its limit to kind of see what we're capable on, because our biometric authentication additions should be very scalable, and the bottleneck that I expect to see is from the substrate parts of the system, if we see any at all. Like, it could be that we can scale way past the any existing substrate network.
Do you have any specific number as a goal? Like this, like 4,000 is the first milestone, 10,000 is the next?
The first milestone would be just 100 nodes. So that would be very interesting because, well, we have kind of some, we might face technical issues with contention on the authentication, but those are kind of, we know how to fix them. So once we fix those, then the next milestone would be kind of like 1,000, then something like that. But I would say, like, starting, like, realistically, a milestone would be 100, and then something like 200, and then we scale by factor of 2.
What are we thinking is in terms of timeline to, let's say, let's say the first 800 nodes?
Well, the amount of nodes, in fact, my other sort of metric and milestone is the conversion percentage of people who we send invites to, which is like, if we send invites to like 100 people, it would be nice if we got 100 people on board rather than like 50 or like, I don't know, 85 or something. So that's an important factor, and would like to scale that number up because that number is obviously, like, we can't, not everybody comes we send the invites to, right? It's like people might have some things to do in life, but they're more interesting than running the first real decentralized network. But yeah, that's we totally understand that, but it would be nice to have as much of the invitations on board as we can, and we're kind of trying to scale that number up, so improving user experience before we actually try to stress test the network, because if people can't get on board if they want to, that's a problem, and we will try to solve that, and then try to scale the network.
And the other question that we've been asked by the community is whether this is going to be the sole network that we're going to be running. The testnet one.
So my understanding is that we're going to have possibly many test nets to go.
Oh yes, we'll have other top secret testnets that are to be announced, but not yet.
How many test nets do you want to run, Mosky?
It kind of depends on how we'll be building our implementation. So far, we can't tell, but it's either be like 1 or 2, or like maybe in the like around 20. So it depends on some internal implementation details that we're going to pursue.
So although this is, kind of a common question, when we launch our nodes and start the test net, what do you want us to do the most? As in, do you want us to basically, should the number one priority be for us to keep the nodes running, or should we try sending stuff? as much as possible, or should we be trying to spoof the system, or what do you want us to do the most?
At this point, I would say try to subvert our bioauthentication and spoof the system and create more nodes. Maybe just create, creating more than one node for yourself. Or not necessarily yourself. It's obvious that you can enroll your friend into the system and just run the node for them, but that's kind of a delegation case, really. So doesn't really count as spoofing. So in fact, the spoofing is if you can spoof the system through liveness check failure and just go past that, there is a bounty, as we said, but there may be other ways to actually spoof the system. So maybe try exploiting race conditions and all that. We've thought carefully about that already, and it shouldn't be possible to just make things wrong. But there are some things that are still not, that we know about, that are still not fixed, and maybe someone can find them and attack our testnet, and we'll be happy to happy to see someone try, because we're looking for people who can do it actively.
Yep, and the last thing for us, if it's possible, is to test out the substrate. I mean, the main ones, of course, are, and our special things that we're doing here is the biometric protocol connected directly to blockchain.
Well, so we're about 35 minutes into the show, and once again, we'd like to open the floor to questions, comments. Don't feel shy, just raise your hand and we will unmute you. And it could be wacky questions. At this point, I'd say that any types of questions are welcome here. And if you don't want to speak up, you can always type it in the chat here and I'll read it up.
But as the time is running out, this is Fireside, so Shen will be firing away and choosing people from the crowd, right?
Yes. Okay, let's see. I see let's go from the top of the list on my side here. I see a Johnny. Do you have any questions, comments, thoughts?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Johnny.
So I was late. I just logged in 10 minutes ago. I don't have any questions. I'm running a node successfully after help from your developer. I did read somewhere that we would need to re-log in every 72 hours, and it did not prompt me to do that. Is that the case?
Yeah, unfortunately for now, it won't prompt you. But, well, everybody has to do that to keep participating in consensus.
Because I didn't do it, and it seems like I'm still like connected and like It didn't kick me out.
Okay, that's interesting. Probably that's because of the block time, right?
No. That's
No, it's synchronized. We've been synchronized for a while.
yeah. I can explain what's going on. So
Yeah.
Your bioauthorization lasts for 72 hours. That's the time counted in blocks. So it's kind of roughly 72 hours, but it will expire as long as 72 hours worth of blocks passed. And what effect you'll observe is that your node just stops participating in the consensus algorithm. So it will still participate in gossip, in transaction exchange, but it won't produce or validate blocks. So for to actually resume this process of participating in the actual consensus, currently you have to stop the node, start it again, and put it into authentication mode and get another auth ticket. And that's after that, the node will start processing blocks again.
I see. And there's no indication for me that I've been stopped participating in the consensus.
There is no explicit UI that will show you that you have that you're no longer authenticated, and this is something that we're working on, and we plan to have some changes in the validator application that would actually display whether you're a validator, like whether you have active authentication or not, and that would be very helpful for that. For now, well, you can tell that you're like whether you're authenticated or not two ways. First of all, if you look at the logs, if you're producing blocks, you'll occasionally see that your node actually produced the block, and this would look like you'll see the lines like proposing block over block ID something something, and that would indicate that you're actually building a block. And if you only see imported blocks, like block something imported, that means that you're just importing blocks. And obviously, the frequency of your node producing a block depends on the network size, like total size of validators that are active. But generally speaking, roughly around 100 blocks, you should definitely see that your node had produced a block. If you don't see that, then that means that you're likely your authentication is likely expired. Second way to check if you have authenticated and you have active authentication is through our Explorer. If you open the developer tab and then state, and then from the select box you choose BioAuth, and in the second select box you choose active authentications, and then you press the plus sign. You'll get a list of all active authentications and when they expire, and it will list a key and a block number for each active authentication. And if you can find your key in there, that means you have active authentication, and you'll even be able to tell when it will expire.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. I'll play with this tomorrow again. Maybe log out and log back in. And thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So, okay, then Let's go to the next. I know Andre is typing something in here, so wait for that. Krishna is asking, when will testnet airdrop come? Dato?
Please stop spoiling. That's our official answer.
Okay. Andre is writing, I wrote a dummy script to find keywords in log. If keywords not appear for at least 10 minutes, send me alert via Telegram. For now, it is the best way to monitor if you're authenticated or not. Oh, interesting. Andre, do you want to elaborate on that? Can unmute here.
Yeah, this will be pretty cool.
Just a minute.
Again, we're working on making better user
I'm live.
experience on
I
the
can
device.
speak. Yes.
Hey, Andre, you're live here.
I think yes. I think yes.
So, you want to talk a little bit more about the script you wrote, or?
If it is possible, I can explain. Yes, this is a dummy script who monitor journal.ctl. Yes, by keyword consensus or somebody something else like transaction. And if this keyword not appearing for the last 10, 15 or minutes, so we have an alert in Telegram. So you can create a bot. This is nothing special in it. So I made it. This is 30 minutes it take. I can share my script into Discord channel. It is not problem.
If you'd like, we can show you how to use an RPC request to fetch the list of authentications and extract the block number and kind of so that you can even predict when the authentication will expire.
It will be next level. Yes, a next version of my script.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Dato, here's a question for you. How do you see the project in a year or in 3 years?
Well, years or year?
We'll start in 1 year, then in 3 years.
I guess privacy is a goal that we're determined to follow, like in the nearest future. And I mean, it might be the hardest part to deliver, proper software-based privacy to biometric authentication and enrollment procedures. And in 1 year, I guess we're aiming to have a hardware-based privacy running with mainnet that we are sure about, and we can be definitely sure that stuff that happens inside the private enclave stays there. But we can deliver properly. We'll be aiming to deliver a properly private and decentralized way of extracting your biometric information in, I guess, exactly 3 to 4 years. Well, 4 to be more precise, and that's what we're aiming for. That's what we'll be pursuing as a very important principle of what we're doing here. And of course, the search, the legendary search of deterministic biometric way of authentication. That is an epic quest that anyone can try and solve.
Yep, and we want to have people who are wanting to solve this quest and wanting to, how shall I say, be the one to solve it. We want their help here. So anybody can join and help here. So we have about 10 more minutes here. Any more questions? Any more thoughts? Let's go. How about, just randomly, Kakashi? Or properly pronounced in Japanese, Kakashi. Do you have any questions, comments, thoughts? You're live. And if not, how about Songjin? You've been here from the beginning. Any thoughts, comments, questions?
Oh, sorry, I missed at first, and I have no questions. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Do you have any comments, any thoughts? Just anything you want to share with the Fireside?
Oh, yes. Yes, nothing. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
People are being shy. Come on.
I know they're shy, but come on. We're here. We can talk. So yes,
Well, one of the things that we can really talk about is when do we think, like what we will want to kind of roll out first and test out internally, and then deploy. Basically, what is our like goal for the next testnet? That's
yes,
like, yeah.
This is a perfect question for Mozgi. Mozgi?
Yep. So the next testnet, we have some, like we're currently debating internally what's the kind of the actual goals of the next testnet would be. It will depend on what we'll achieve in this testnet. So that's it's not clear yet. This testnet is not over, and maybe it will be like for this testnet, we're figuring out what we can do and how we can kind of alter it through time. So if we encounter some technical difficulties, the next testnet would be basically a fix of those that we can envision. but it's not really it might not be the case right now if we'll be able to fix everything without actually causing a hard fork. So yeah, and
I mean, it's that's the idea that I want the community to understand, is that it's like a test net, right? And there can be like hard forks and just stoppages, and then anything can crash down. And the testnet exists for this very reason. If you need to restart it or insert new models, you got to do it to ensure that sometime in the future the mainnet runs properly. So there should be no fear about that on the testnet.
Yep. That's we won't keep the testnet longer than we need to, but there is something that we want to test in this testnet, and if it doesn't work, we'll have to actually put an end to this one and start a new one, because we might have made some preparations incorrectly for runtime upgrades. But that's that wasn't the goal of this testnet anyways. So yeah, it's not a problem at all. And we will see if we ever even need a new testnet, because this one might be just carried out for quite some time if we figure out that we don't need to do a hard fork for a runtime upgrade. So that's technically what we're currently see as the main potential reason to actually spawn the next testnet.
Yeah, they make still sense. So I guess we have 5 minutes left for this fireside. And well, yeah, returning to the questions, I think it's a good time to ask them. If you have any, you can write down them in the chat, or just ask away.
Yep. Not the time to be shy, but at the same time, just remember that, of course, we're always open for questions in Telegram and in Discord. We have all hands on deck to answer any of your questions. If you have, not only questions, if you think you can help in certain areas, or you figured a way to crack the system or whatnot, please speak up and become an active member of the community here. We welcome as many people, we welcome everybody. We want more and more people to join this network here. So please don't be shy and speak out. So anyway, Victor, any closing comments? Any thoughts?
Well, just thank you guys for being with us and keeping it all running. With your help, we'll probably make it the biggest non-incentivized testnet. Okay, and well, this will be awesome, because if you build the network the other way, the capital way, people are like, I have no capital. Why should I even participate in that testnet? Something like that. Basically, it's completely different now.
Dato, any final comments?
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I want to thank the guys that were participating still, and of course congratulate the Humanode team on launch of the testnet, and thank you very much, and good luck to everybody.
Yeah, for me too. I thank you, everybody, and looking forward to seeing this testnet grow, and hopefully we can break some records here. I would love to see Mosky Panic with 10,000 nodes saying, I don't know if we can do this, but we need to make 1 million. So, yes, please, everybody, keep up the good work, and yeah, we'll do all we can to make this a reality here. And yes, give the last comment to Mosky.
Oh,
Anything?
yeah, so just a small reminder. I'm not sure if we announced it already, but there's been a binaries update